Okay. Still waiting on Kerry, but I'd like to go ahead and tell y'all that I know look like we've got IRS agents in certain parts of the country that are just not paying attention to anything. They think they can walk on water. Several in Kansas and some in Montana are like that. Some of you on the call might have got an order dismissing your case for not paying the fee, and that's something we're working on too. We also have several now working on different letters going to the Federal Claims Court, to the tax court, just to anybody and everybody to get your money back or start getting it back that you've lost or that's been stolen from you. Okay, is there anybody on that I can answer a question for? Go ahead and hit star 6.
Ed, you said Montana and another place. It's hard to hear. If you could maybe speak up just a little bit.
You can hardly hear me?
Yeah, it's very, very soft.
Is that any better?
Yeah, a little bit, not much so, but I'm listening as best I can. You said Montana and another state? I missed what you said.
Kansas.
Okay. Thank you.
It's kind of, even in Texas, there's a scattered incidents where IRS agents are still sending people notices and all that kind of stuff, and it's like they think they can ignore anything that comes at them. So what goes around comes around.
Hey, Ed.
Yeah. Hello.
Have you guys stopped sending out the emails letting us know when your calls are?
No. Did I miss somebody?
Well, I know myself and another person that haven't been getting the emails letting us know when the calls are.
When you do that, be sure and send me an email and tell me about that.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you, sir.
I might have dropped some off the list somewhere and didn't know it.
I understand.
I got about 1,000 now, I think. By the way, Kerry called me today. Said he called in the tax office to get a copy of some documents. It wasn't but just 2 or 3 pages, and they said, well, it'll take 5 days to get that. And he said, well, last year I called in and got one in 1 hour. The lady said, not this year. But then, which means they are getting swamped up there. So, I'm going to have to go get on another phone, see if I can call him. Is there anybody on here want to talk while I go try to call Carrie? Is Dwayne Williams on here? No? Just hang loose and I'll be back in a little bit.
To break the silence, this is Jonas Delagrange from Sisseton, Illinois. I was wondering if anybody has ever drove up to the courthouse and been able to walk into the clerk's to get a court order, or has anybody tried that?
Gary, this is Ed. We're waiting on you on the call.
How is that?
I was talking to a recorder. Can you repeat what you just asked?
I was wondering if anybody has went up to the United States Tax Court and walked in to the clerks to get their court order, or can that not be done?
I have not heard of anybody doing that. I don't know why you couldn't if you wanted to.
I didn't know if they would let you walk in the court there, or do you have to have a green card or something to get in, or is it a public where you can?
If you got a green card, you can go anywhere.
Well, I've got a green card. They call it. Most people call it dollar bills. I call it a federal debt note. I don't know. Does that work or not?
No, that don't work.
Oh, that's not the right green card.
No, it's against Title 18 to use those.
Yeah.
That's a criminal charge there.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're all accountable for that one.
There you go. Gary didn't answer his phone. I don't know if something happened or what. He called me this morning, but I hadn't heard from him since. Let's see.
Ed, could I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
There's jurisdiction stuff and the kind of questions Kerry asked. Would he use it for a traffic stop? If you wouldn't ask an armed police officer that, you're the authority to ask me these questions or anything. Does he do anything like this for those kind of mundane things, or did he wait to court?
You kind of got to play it by ear there. There's some of these cops out there on the streets. I wouldn't advise you to ask them anything.
Right, and that's what I was thinking. You would have to get to the magistrate or wait to court to ask a jurisdiction question or a statement anyway. I just wondered if you've experienced it and you had a chance to have a minute to ask, so I did. That's all. Thank you for that.
First thing that they'll do in the court is take you to see an attorney for a plea bargain deal. And that's the first place you would ask, do you have jurisdiction over this or over me or whatever the case might be. And if they say yes, and there again, you got to kind of feel yourself along there. You can say, can you prove that? More than likely they can't. They won't prove it, and they'll go on. So,
yep. Put it on the record.
You have notified them on record that that they may be lacking jurisdiction. It depends on what court you're in, a municipal court, of precinct court, a county court. They all got a little bit different jurisdiction over things. For example, a precinct court, a judge, I know in Texas doesn't cover but up to $1,000, and I believe it's 1,000, maybe 10,000. But there's a lot of times these banks and stuff will take people into that court trying to steal their house or something from them, and their house may be worth $150,000, $200,000, and there they are in a court that's only allowed to go up to $10,000. So that definitely, they have no jurisdiction there. And most county courts are $100,000. So if they try to take it there, it's another jurisdiction case. And like the school zone, you know, you have the caution lights and stuff, and if you're speeding on them and those lights are blinking, then like in Texas, those lights were put there, they're maintained and everything by the Department of Transportation. And that little city municipal court is going to try to take some of your money away from you. Well, you can ask them, do they have jurisdiction over that Department of Transportation, State of Texas Department of Transportation. And they get a little nervous then. But you just got to feel your way to see when that's it. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, this is David here in California. And I've been doing some homework on some of this stuff. And my research has led me to the fact that, well, here in California, all of the courts have been incorporated into the state, and they're all under the direction of the Supreme Court. So in addressing the traffic issue, I'm beginning to put some stuff together for a letter to send to the clerk of the Supreme Court and see if I can't get an answer back on this jurisdiction issue for all of these courts. And do you have any thoughts on that or any suggestions?
Well, here in Texas, you can just type in on the internet Texas statutes or rules and regulations, and it'll pull up who has what jurisdiction. Now, I don't know about California.
Yeah, years ago they put it all. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but it's been a little while, and they put it all under the Supreme Court. All of the there might be one or two smaller counties that have not been pulled into the system yet, but for the most part, they're all under the direction of the Supreme Court. And even with the oaths of office and putting a complaint in on an attorney or on a prosecutor, it all gets done under the Supreme Court. One an example of that, if you got an attorney, then his name is John Robert Smith. Okay, if that attorney signs anything other than John Robert Smith, that's a violation of his oath, and can be disciplined through a complaint to the Supreme Court for that, and actually lose their bond. In other words, if he just signs a document, John Smith, that's not what is on his certificate that came from the Supreme Court, because there's no such thing as a bar license. They just get a certificate to go out there and do business. So if they're not signing it properly, then they're liable.
Yeah, Texas Supreme Court registers, you might say, the attorneys. They don't actually have a license. They just get a certificate, but it comes from the Supreme Court. Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
Their bar card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's good if you can get rid of some of them. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, does a bankruptcy court have jurisdiction over you?
The what now? Which one?
A bankruptcy court.
Bankruptcy court?
Yeah.
Not unless you give it to them.
I don't think you. None of them have actually had jurisdiction over you unless you voluntarily give it to them.
That's exactly right.
Well, they say you voluntarily gave it to them when you filed bankruptcy.
Yeah, you did. That's a contract. You contracted with them.
Yep.
So they would have jurisdiction over that case. That is true.
Yeah. All of your federal courts are fraudulent. Just keep that in mind.
Well, that's what I told the judge. I asked the judge to show me her oath of office and her bonds. I know that she has a right to sit where she's sitting, and that I have a right to even answer any question that she may ask me. She says she has every right in the book. I said, well, that doesn't answer my question. I said, where's your bond? She said, I don't have to give you none of that. If you want that, you can go to Springfield and get it. And I said, no, I thought the law states that you have to have it in hand upon demand. She said, not in bankruptcy court. So I asked her if she goes to church. She said, church ain't got nothing to do with it. I said, well, what about Public Law 97-280? I thought that says that the Word of God is the rock that we stand on, can't be removed. And you're going to move that? And I don't know. We went round there, but I haven't never gotten a word. But they keep postponing. Got another hearing the 27th of this month again down in Benton, Illinois.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they gonna put up a fight. I can tell you that.
No, I asked her. I told her that without showing me her oath of office or her bond or anything, I said, you are a false god, as it states under Deuteronomy 4:12 and 32. I said, I cannot bow to you. I got my own God I bow to. I don't bow to false gods, and you're impersonating a judge, so that should be contempt of court. She ordered the U.S. Marshals up. I don't know. Until it's over with, they ordered me out of the courtroom and rescheduled another date, so we're still going.
It sounds like you're right. You're right on point with that. Stay on this jurisdiction issue, and don't back off.
Well, they say they follow the Constitution. I asked them if they follow the Constitution of the Continental USA, and she said, well, we follow the law, and we follow the Constitution. I said, well, that really doesn't make no sense with my Bible and my Constitution, because it wouldn't harm any man against their good faith belief or their God-given rights. And I said, as far as I know, everything has been harmed up to here. So I don't know. We'll find.
Well, always keep in mind there's two constitutions.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I said, I'm talking about the Constitution of the Continental USA. Okay. That's the law of the land, right?
The one that counts.
Yeah, we the people.
Yeah. Well, the United States attorney just met me Friday here at a restaurant to try and get me to sign a waiver to discharge, waive my rights to a discharge, so they can go ahead and dismiss bankruptcy. And I refused. I told him I cannot do evil like that and benefit Satan that you work for. So everything was said and done. He stood up, he was mad. He said, "You won't forget today, buddy." I said, "Mark, don't leave mad. You surely are not mad. You have to be mad by yourself choosing to be mad, because I cannot make you mad, and you look awful mad." And he turned around and he said, "Buddy, you're not going to forget today." I said, "Oh, I see how the United States attorneys work. They get mad and then they threaten, and then through threatening and fear, they try to get even." I said, "Don't forget there's still a God up above that can take care of all evil." So he walked out and threatened my driver.
You know, another thing to do is to call the county clerk, and you ask them for that person is on the list of attorneys there in the county, and I know they're not there. I can guarantee that. And so who are they? So who are you in here doing business? You don't even know, who you are or what jurisdiction you're in. You can be from Mars for all I know.
Yeah. I've asked him, I said, where did you come in that you have any power and authority over me?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm a United States attorney. I said, well, that don't tell me nothing. I'm We the People, one of the guys that work for a living, trying to support a family, and you're here trying to rob everything I own or everything I work for. He said, no, that's not how it works. We're doing our job and we're following the law. I said, what law? Because the Supreme Court has ruled against complete Title 26 to be unconstitutional and illegal, so what are you doing? He said, well, I'm standing behind Nancy Gargula. She's a United States trustee, and I'm the attorney, her attorney. I said, well, attorney, look the word attorney up, because that means you're tearing out of everything that you do. So we didn't get very far.
Yeah, we're waiting on you. Could I add a little bit about when speaking about traffic tickets?
Oh, please do.
My name's Chad. I'm from Minnesota, by the way. I just sent off this morning. I was in Minneapolis, and this worked for me once. So I was out in Seattle with
605-472-5645.
And I challenged the territorial jurisdiction, being all the United States court. Basically, they only have jurisdiction on land owned or ceded to the United States. And again, that worked for me. I did a couple of things. I challenged the debt under the FDCPA along with the jurisdiction, basically with a letter and supported with an affidavit. And this was before I ever even went to court. And my traffic ticket out in Seattle went to a collection agency. I challenged them with the FDCPA. They just disappeared, went back to the court. They tried to send me a copy of the citation and different things like that to prove I owed them. I basically said that's no proof of a debt. Where's my signature? All that. And, I after about the third letter, I said, this is done. You have not proven it, and, I'm done with it. And it sat on the court's internet. I could buy or check in and find my case, but there was never a court date set up. There was never a warrant for my arrest, and it was there for about 6 months, and I kind of forgot about it. After about a year, I looked again, and it's completely gone. I can't even find my name there. So I did that without going to court. I think once you get into court, you end up in more trouble because you're getting into their jurisdiction. And I challenged, basically, I was not on land owned by the United States where that ticket was written. So that, I don't know. I'll see how it works on this one. Like I said, I just sent it to the Minneapolis State of Minnesota court this morning, and we'll see what happens.
Hello?
This is Bruce from Michigan. How y'all doing?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I followed the instructions for petitioning the United States Tax Court, like you said, like you were outlined in the website and the previous shows. And I received a contact from the U.S. Tax Court saying that there was no fee submitted, which there wasn't, and that I had inadvertently did not provide the state that the court that would the state in which Michigan be the court, Detroit. So I sent out. I was contacted by an attorney out of Detroit, legal counsel for the IRS, I presume. I haven't touched bases with him yet, but I do have a docket sheet on the U.S. Tax Court, and I have until the 20th to make any complaints. Do you have any advice or suggestions for me at this point in the motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction?
You just sit still, wait for that final order. Don't contact them. Don't object to nothing. That's what you don't want to do, is object.
Yeah.
That's what the IRS wants you to do.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I have no desire to do that at this point at all. So just let it ride then, huh?
Yeah. But somewhere around that date now, they're so dang behind right now. It'd probably be a little bit after that date they got on there. The date that they said you needed to object by?
Yeah, the 20th of this month.
Yeah.
So I'll just let that ride and see what happens then.
Starting the 20th, you could just dial up on your docket and see if the order has been finalized or not. The one you're looking for is the one signed by the judge.
Yeah,
not the
right.
one signed by the attorney.
That's the one. Yeah, because I see they did file the court in the Detroit location, making mention of what court it should be in, but that's all I've seen so far.
That shouldn't bother anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Super.
On that part.
That's kind of the way I understood it too, but it's nice to hear your comments on that, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got the same thing 1,000 other people got.
Sure. Okay. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I'll be sitting in every Tuesday, and thank you very much for your time, sir.
No, we only have the call every other Tuesday, second and fourth Tuesday.
Well, then I got lucky here. Then
Yeah.
Second and fourth Tuesday.
So is the next one on the 18th, Ed?
Do you get an email from me?
No, I never did. I've just been keeping track. But the next one's the 18th?
Take my email down and send me an email so I can put you on the list, because I send out a notice to everybody when the next call is.
Okay, I will. Thank you. I have it.
You have it?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I
did talk to Kerry, and he is having trouble getting on for some reason. So y'all go ahead. Is there another question from me, or does somebody want to say something?
I wanted to make a comment. I believe it was with Bruce, his question about their.
Go ahead. I'm going to get off and see if I can get a hold of Kerry again.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Now, I'm definitely not an expert in all of this, but if it's from the tax court or IRS, whatever it may be, it's all basically commerce law. And if it's a type of a presentment or even coming to court or for money that you owe this, anything like that, if you don't respond to it in some way, you're consenting. So you'd want to be careful with what you.
Oh, okay.
But so again, I'm not an expert, but I've gotten rid of a lot of debt with using certain procedures and stuff, and the IRS is really no different, other than they can lay a heavier hand on you, but they're still operating the same way as a debt collector. But you have to respond, even with send it back to them, no consent, no contract, cease and desist written across it, and mail it back to them. But some response, or otherwise you're consenting.
Okay, Carrie is on. Carrie, you're muted. Hello, Carrie.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, now I see you. Okay. I see you where you're supposed to be now.
Okay. I can tell you where I'm supposed to. I can tell you where I'm supposed to be.
Oh. Okay.
You're not gonna believe what happened.
Yeah.
I dialed the other program, and he says, "There's a guy here from Texas." I said, "Yeah, it's me, you idiot." He says, "Me? You're the idiot. You're supposed to be on the other phone." Oh yeah.
Talk shoe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
That's why I was running late, and I couldn't remember to. Anyways, that guy that was just talking, that said about no consent and all that.
What about it?
Okay. I'm not sure that's how that he's right on that.
Ed, don't forget to turn the recording on because of the confusion.
Gary, is anybody?
I can hear you, Ed, but Carrie's gone. By the way, don't forget to turn the recording on.
I muted because I was doing something. I didn't want to make a bunch of noise. I muted so I wouldn't make a bunch of noise.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and ask your questions to Carrie.
Gary?
Yes.
Yes, this is Don from Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think on the last call or the last two calls, you talked to my friend Mark. He was talking to you about IRC subsection 6673 on his motion to dismiss. Okay. Well, I got my order signed by the chief judge, and they did the same thing to me. that motion for lack of jurisdiction and to impose a penalty under IRC subsection 6673. I think you gave him two options at the time. One option was to file a Form 2 and respond, and the other option was just to be quiet and not answer it. And Mark chose to do that, but I would like to send in the Form 2 and answer this. I got to do this before June 26th of this month. And I just don't know how to fill out the Form 2. What is the correct procedure so that I can, get this fine? They've already put it in the order. I got the order signed by the chief judge.
All right. The problem they're having with that is the judge can't give you a fine because he's neutral. The IRS can't give it to you because they don't have jurisdiction. The attorney can ask for it. Then if the judge gives it to them, see, that's where the issue comes. So get a Form 2. It says it's a petition. Write the word amended in front of petition because I don't know where it's at. And go back and tell them the same thing. If you change what you're saying, that's the reason we're getting a lot of these off-the-hinge things like that. Something isn't right. Or they're just, this is the way that they're coming at us now. But get the Form 2 and just put on there, I never received a notice of deficiency. I never received a notice of determination for years, 2000 to 2017. And then address the fine or the sanctions or whatever he said and tell them that your due process has been violated because they put a lien on you and they never gave you a notice of deficiency or notice of determination. See, now with the due process, that's a constitutional argument. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so now they're if they're saying, well, we don't have to, we're doing that because they can't violate your due process. They can give you a fine, but they have to tell you why. And see, the federal court judges don't have to tell you a finding of facts and conclusions of law. So now, if they've violated your due process, they're going to have to do something about it because that's the foundation of our legal system.
Okay.
So it's Form 2, down where it says petition, just handwrite amended in front of it. I'll go and look for one the next few days. I've just been real busy. And I haven't found their amended petition, although they have one because they send them to us. So we just have to find an amended petition. It may be on their website. I didn't really look.
Okay, well, I sent an email to Ed last night, and he has my email address and my phone number from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So, I mean, if you want to send something to me or anything like that, I would appreciate it. But I understand exactly what you're talking about here, and I'll just start proceeding with the Form 2.
What's happening is everybody's trying to make it more difficult than it is. It's not difficult. It's very simple. But once you vary from that, we're giving them a chance we're giving them some wiggle room. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're fishing and you're in the ocean and you have just a Zebco 8-pound test, could you catch a 9,000-ton whale?
No way.
Yes,
Not
could.
at all.
Yes, you could.
I could?
He would break the line. He would break the line. You couldn't reel him in.
Okay.
See, that's my take. Your take is, well, catching him is getting him in the boat. See, that's what we're doing. We're giving them wiggle room. See?
Okay.
We just have to not give them any wiggle room. Because I called today to get some certified copies for something I'm doing. And the lady said on the phone, well, that's going to be a week to 10 business days. I said, hey, the last time I did this, you called me back in an hour. She said, well, times change. So they're a week to 10 days, working days. They're 2 weeks out. That's how far behind they are.
Okay.
So that's part of our problem also. They're trying, they used to just rubber stamp them and let them go through, but now they're inundated with it. They can't do anything else. But see, now that people have spoken, we're trying to get it to where the people will go out there and they'll go after this. And we got a couple of issues we're going to try to deal with tonight. Are we ready to start, Ed?
Yeah. The recorder's been on all the time.
Okay, that's fine. Well, what they're doing now is I talked to an IRS attorney, and he said, "You lost, we won." I said, "Tell me how we lost, because I'm confused." He said, "Read the last line. It says you don't have jurisdiction. We wrote it up that way. The judge gave it to us. We won." So I realized what he's saying. Okay, they're not recognizing the first half of the court order. So what happens is the IRS's attorney writes you a 5-page document, basically 4, 3, 6, something like that, and it's the IRS's attorney that's writing the motion. It'll come to you, and then the final court order will come. On there it says, the commissioner said, we didn't give you a notice of deficiency, which is required according to 6212. We didn't give you a notice of deficiency, a determination, which is mandatory according to 6213A. We didn't give you a notice of deficiency or a notice of determination according to 6320 and 6330. That's on the paperwork. But the attorney, what the judge is doing is he's saying, we're going to dismiss this for lack of jurisdiction, and then he signs off of it. So what we're doing is we're taking that 5-page document that you get, calling back to the court, saying, I need a certified copy of that. They'll send you a certified copy of it. And we're using that with the order, and it's a lot better deal. We're getting a lot more movement. Then when we write our cover letter, the cover letter is basically saying, to whom it may concern. In other words, put in dear whoever it is, IRS, Social Security, the Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service has admitted to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And highlight the highlighted copy that's enclosed for your convenience. Then we're just putting that 5-page document with the order in the package. Does that make sense, Ed? Did I say it too fast?
No, not for me.
Oh, okay.
If somebody else didn't understand, holler up.
Yeah, holler up so we can clear this up. Okay, once you do that, then you're going to send it to whoever you need to send it to. Now we're starting to get the reverse. We're starting to get it back again. But what they're doing is the judge he's making a watered down version of the order that the attorney is putting in there. So we're just putting them together. We're taking the front sheet, and the back sheet has the signature of the attorney, and then there's 3 pages in the middle, and sometimes 2. But it says we went back 6 months and we can't find the notice of deficiency. We can't find the notice of determinations. And so the commissioner is going to dismiss if you don't bring it in. So what's happening is, because of the way they do business, they're ignoring what the court is saying, because the court's order is very good, but they're not reading it. All they're reading is the last line, and that's what he did to me. So I hope that I cleared that up.
There's quite a few people getting the 5-page letter.
No, everybody gets it.
Yeah.
See, everybody's getting it. And that's the motion that tells the court to give you your court order. Then just call back and get a certified copy. You only need one, and then get your copies off of it. Now you have a certified order and a certified court order.
Okay, that judge is dismissing the case for not filing a fee, do you send in another Form 2? Do you make that amendment or a new case?
Okay, you have to wait till the old case has played out, or what happens is they say this is a duplicate and they don't accept it. But I sent to you, Ed, a document that says we don't have to pay the filing fee because that keeps us from the court. They want us to do a pauperous so that they give us credit for it so that they can still do the administrative side of it. I think I sent it to you. If I didn't, I'll get it to you so that when people need it, we can give it to them. And we're going to start adding that with in other words, we're going to do Form 2, Form 4, Form 5, and then put that with it. And what that says is the Supreme Court says we don't have to pay the filing fee. The filing fee originally came out to cover the cost of the paperwork, but now it's to make money. And so
I need that ASAP.
I'll have it to you when we're done tonight. I'll send it right to you. I found that today or yesterday, or someone, I forgot who it was. Somebody I talked to sent it to me, and I was reading it. And so it's about a page and a half. So what we're going to do is we're going to add that to our document because that explains. And see, the filing fee used to be just to cover the paperwork, and it didn't have anything to do with anything. But now they're making money with it. And now that they're making money with it, see, it's not gone back to the original. It's not the original filing fee. Does that make sense?
I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay up on this for us if I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what we have here is I'll get that to you, Ed. I will get that to you. And that way what we're going to do is I haven't
send
tried
that out to everybody.
Right. And then we're going to send that in because what that does, that's giving us our anyway, that helps with that part of it.
I have a quick question. Do you happen to have the site on that case handy?
I don't even have the stinking case. Let me see. It's right here, I think. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But I'll have it. I'll have it if I don't get it. If I don't have it by this call, I will get it because I sent it to somebody, so that when I needed it, I would find it. I thought I sent it to Ed, but maybe I didn't.
Yeah. Anybody on here, send that email requesting that. As soon as I get it, I'll ship it out to you.
Kerry, I have a question.
So what? I don't care. Go ahead. I do care. Go ahead.
This is Travis out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, I sent out a bunch of the letters requesting the 2358C letter.
Yeah.
Along with the court order.
Yeah.
That I received. And I'm looking at probably about 15 responses back from the IRS, various places, Ogden, Fresno, various places. And they're all telling me that they've sent this correspondence to somewhere else and that they need 60. Some of them say 60 days and some of them say 90 days. I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Well, that's good. That's good. And the reason for it, they used to have one a month. There's probably 3,000 people a day asking for it. They probably really need that. Once you get it, you can sit back and don't worry about it anymore. That's kind of part of this whole thing, see?
Right.
So you're just going to – it doesn't matter if you want to give it to them or not. They're going to take it. So I got the same thing. They sent me a 45-day letter. Then they sent me another 45-day letter. Then they sent me a 60-day letter. So what am I going to do?
Sit back and wait.
That's all you can do.
Thank you, Kerry.
It's not a problem. Thank you for bringing it up.
Maybe sometime tomorrow I'll give you a call. I sent you an email over a court order that I received, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about it. But I will talk to you tomorrow about it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You bet, Chin. Thanks for the question.
Next. Any more
then
questions?
we're all done.
You came in late. You want to leave already?
Yeah, I couldn't get in.
Hi. Yeah, this is Paul from Florida. This is Paul from Florida. I've got a question.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. I've received I sent out a response to the motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction, quoting that Internal Revenue manual regarding the substitute for return.
Yes.
From what I understand, from what I've been hearing today, I should withdraw that and just wait for the order to come through then. Is that what you would recommend, Kerry?
You've already sent it in. Just wait and see what happens now. A lot of times what they're doing is they don't know what to do. You got to understand, 5 years ago, nobody was doing this. This is something I just came up with over the years, and I tweaked it.
Right.
Now that Ed has this phone-in thing, there's thousands of people that are doing it. I've run into several people that called me on the phone and said that they really enjoyed having this kit that I put together. I said, "What kit?" He said, "Well, I bought it from so-and-so for $1,500.
Oh my gosh.
So we got people that are selling it. Well, that's fine if that's what they want to do. So we got people all over the place doing it. So it's not just Ed now. So there's nothing else I can say, other than that's just the way it goes.
I got you. So in other words, just leave it the way it is and see what happens then from the tax court. Okay.
And what will happen when the tax court sends you your order? You always can go back and do an amended petition at that time. And if they come back and say the frogs are green and grass is brown, you can go back and we can tweak that and go back and try to get a better answer. But you start making answers now, what it does, it pushes it back. It keeps prolonging it. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep, I got you.
Okay, so that's the only way I know what to do.
All right, we'll do. Yeah, I got an order saying that I had to respond by June 22nd, or else they're going to dismiss it for lack of jurisdiction.
Well, that's what you want anyways.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, what if I put in this withdrawal of my response, and they'll just disregard it, then I'll just get the order.
Well,
that's the way it works.
That's not how it really works. Because if you withdraw it, then the other side will come in and say, since he drew it, let's withdraw the whole thing. And
I see.
Because remember, just because you put it in, they get an opportunity to answer you also.
Okay, right. I got you. All right, very well. I'll just lay low and wait for whatever happens.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, Kerry. Bye.
Thank you.
Kerry, should we still continue to send the letters to request the dismissal?
That's when you say dismissal, you're talking about the tax court. The tax court.
No, the district court.
That's up to you. I got a response, and I believe I gave it to Ed, and I may be wrong. But I put it. Where did I put that? Did I send that to you, Ed? When you open it up, it shows the courthouse.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I got a response from them. They sent it to me in an email because I kept emailing them. And they sent it to me in an email, and they said they won't answer it anymore, but here's the answer. And what they did is they gave me everything that they had jurisdiction on. This is what we have jurisdiction over, and they listed everything.
Oh, really? I didn't get that.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing then. I've been working too much.
That's right.
Is that what they call the court order, the one that they tell you what all jurisdiction they have over?
That could be. I sent it. Let me see what I got here.
Gary, you sent it to me. It says types of cases. U.S. courts hear cases over which they have jurisdiction granted by the U.S. Constitution or Congress. Learn more about cases heard in federal courts in this section. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, I just sent it to you, Ed. Yes. So
okay.
What it's telling you is they have jurisdiction, and they tell you what it is. The IRS is not listed.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about now. You did send that to me.
I knew I did, Ed. I thought so. But anyways,
yeah, okay.
That's okay. That's okay. That was their answer to me. So if you want, I have it, Ed has it, and the guy that just said something, if you know anybody and anybody recognizes them, just send it out. And if you look at it, it goes in there and it says, we have jurisdiction over, and they tell you.
Well, the U.S. tax court sent me that after about my fifth or sixth request that I sent in.
There you go. See? That's good. And so what they're telling you is they have jurisdiction over United States lawsuits. The question is the IRS part of the United States? So that's the best we have right now. And
so how would you recommend we use that, Kerry?
Well, when you look at it and read it, okay. Did anybody get something from the tax court that said they wanted the IRS's attorney said they recommend that you give them a more definite statement? Maybe they said more definitive statement.
Okay. I got that.
Oh, okay. Then that's how you would use it. Go back to the tax court and say, hey, I need a more definitive statement. Go to the United States District Court and say, hey, I need a more definite statement. This is what it says, but it doesn't tell me. And what I did was I wrote them a letter and says, look, I'm not asking for legal advice. I hired an attorney, and he doesn't know the answer. I need to know that. He wants to know the answer also. Do you have jurisdiction over the Internal Revenue Service? And that's what they sent me. So I'm putting together another letter, and I'm saying to them, I'm still confused. I'm not asking for legal advice. You have limited jurisdiction. I would like a more definitive statement, a more definite statement. Please tell me, do you have jurisdiction over the Internal Revenue Service? That's a yes or no answer. It's real simple. And then I'm going to send that whole thing back to them and ask them, we're not dealing with rocket scientists. But see, what's happening is we're hitting them pretty hard. And so it's taken off. We're at critical mass. If they take me off the map, there's enough people out there doing this now that could keep it going, and that's important. So there's, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I assume they would tell you. They did once before. They used to tell you. Now they don't tell you anything.
I have a question.
Okay.
Did you say that the 5-page letter is what you would recommend we also get certified and send copies along with the court orders, certified copies?
Okay. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. But if you call them, they'll put their stamp on it for $5 and then go down and get a bunch of copies. Now what you have is you have a order from the attorney that's certified by the court. If you have to go to court, you can bring it in as evidence because it's already been there. I'm trying to think ahead. Will you get in trouble? Will the IRS come after you? I don't know. But if they do, now why are you doing this? Well, you can't use that. You can't use that because it's not certified, or you can't use that because it's not part of the court. Just get one certified copy of it, copy a bunch of them, and keep that aside in case you need it.
Okay, so that's the one, the 5-pager from the attorney. Okay.
Yes. Do you have yours?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you mind reading it?
Oh,
you don't have to read all 5 pages. You don't have to read all 5 pages.
He's got to pull it up. But I also have another question. The 2858C, or whatever we're requesting?
Well, if you don't know what it is, I'm not telling you.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What was the importance of that document?
It's a 2358C.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
No, I know. I was told I couldn't get it, so I went and got it.
Right.
Okay. And what
are you a taxpayer?
Oh.
Yes.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
No. See? All right. If you're not a fisherman, and I'm talking about fish, you don't know what I'm talking about. The IRS can't talk to nobody but taxpayers. People, for some reason, I'm not a taxpayer. Well, what it says, Dear taxpayer, thank you for your response. We agree with you. You are not required to file a tax return. No, you are not legally required to file a tax return. Now, would that be of any value?
Yes.
Okay, they can only give that to taxpayers. But the funny thing is they call you a taxpayer, then they say you don't have to file a tax return. See? So words mean something.
Yeah.
And what you do is after you get your 5-page document and you get your court order, write a letter. Hey, I would like my copy of my 2358C mailed to the address above. See, for the years in question, and then send them the package, and then just send it out. That's why don't send them a certified one because they're expensive. Just get a bunch of copies of it, and then just mail it to everybody. If they have a pulse, mail it to them. And what they'll do is they'll eventually give it to you, and this one, the one I have, is signed. It actually has a signature on it. Nice. But it says you're not required to file a tax return. So when the CID knocks at your door and says, we're picking you up for willful failure to file, hand it to them and say, well, now I'm confused. Somebody's going to jail because you're saying I have to file and the IRS is saying I don't. You're Title 27 and they're Title 26. So, buddy, I can hardly wait to get you in front of the judge and then do a backflip, kiss him on the lips, whatever. Because, see, if you're not required to file, because Title 26 says you're not, and he works for 27, what's he doing at your house?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's ATF. Right.
See, that's just my opinion.
All right, so I got to respond to this motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction. It's actually like a 4-page, including the cover page.
I understand, but sometimes would you read that middle section there? Where it's okay. Go ahead if you don't mind.
Well, the middle section says that the one that's important to me is number 4, line number 4. An IRS representative has made a diligent search of respondents, that's me, records. Their records. No notice of deficiency authorized under IIRIC section 6212 has been issued to petitioner. So with that, and that's required. So with that information right there, I know that they didn't do things properly.
See, but now that if that was certified and your order was certified, when you take that and put it together with your cover letter saying the commissioner admitted to the following 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
The IR. There it is. See, the Internal Revenue Service superior or captain of the ship, whatever he's called. He called the attorney calls himself something. The lead attorney.
The acting chief counsel.
There it is. The chief counsel for the Internal Revenue Service said this: 1, 2, 3, 4. See certified copy from the court.
Right.
And then put in your letter. Also see certified copy of court order generated by chief counsel's admittance. See, now you got a different story. Put all that together, and then send it to Social Security, send it to the bank, send it to your job, send it to whoever. Should I send it to them? Put a 50-cent stamp on it and mail it.
Okay.
Now, see, because now what the IRS is saying, we won, you lost. Do you have your court order that generated?
Yes, I do. In fact, the beautiful part of this court order says that the motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction on the ground that no notice of deficiency, as authorized by Section 6212 and required by 6213 NA. So they're admitting and telling us right here in this court order that they didn't do procedurally, they didn't do the things the right way.
Right. Now read the last two lines on that, though. Read the last two lines.
On the court order. The last two lines: ordered that respondent's motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction is granted. In this case, dismissed for lack of jurisdiction.
And that's what they're saying. That's what he quoted me. We won. Yep. You lost. We asked for it, and we got it. Right. That's what they're saying. So what they're doing is they're ignoring everything else.
Right.
Now, when I went back and realized what he did, that page that you called, if that's certified, when he says that, get his name, take him to the United States District Court. You can sue him there because they have jurisdiction over that document. Now they're in contempt of court. Here's what it says, and here's what it says. It says the same thing, and they're violating my due process.
Right.
Now, see, we can create a hell of a storm for them doing that. So that's what they're telling me. So I went back and looked. Oh, here it is. So in my opinion, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving legal advice. So in my opinion, call the court and say, I want a certified copy of the of the chief counsel's order.
Okay.
See, now you don't have to, but if you have that, then they're going to just put their stamp on it, that embossment on it. If it's not real expensive, get 4 or 5 of them, because see, with both of those documents, there's nothing they can do. See, if they read the document proper, the document itself is powerful enough. But they're saying that he quoted that. And then I've talked to 3 IRS agents, and I've talked to the court clerk, and the court clerk says, "You lost. We won. Not we. You lost. The IRS won. You didn't have jurisdiction because they asked for it. Of course they asked for it because they were caught with their pants down." See, what I'm realizing is, you've heard me ask this question before. Have you stopped kicking your neighbor's dog? There's no way. I don't care. It doesn't matter how you answer it. See, that's where they're at now. They're not. We finally got them. So here's what they're saying. I don't have to listen to you. You lost. I won because you didn't have jurisdiction. Of course I don't have jurisdiction. See? I wrecked my Ford truck, so I have a Chevy front end, and it won't fit. So that means that the Chevy truck's no good. No, it don't mean nothing. What it means is I got the wrong jurisdiction, putting it on the wrong jurisdiction. See?
Right.
So I'm just trying to keep up to it the best I can. And I believe between both documents, you already have it anyways. Both documents are absolutely deadly to them. That's my opinion. So take those two documents with a cover letter and send it to your Social Security administrator. You're taking my money. Here's what's happening. I want my money to be stopped, and I want the money you took returned because you didn't have jurisdiction with it. We're doing that, and what they're starting to say is Social Security says, well, it's not our fault. Mark, out of the office, out of so-and-so, we looked it up on the Internet. That office isn't even there. So they're giving us what we need to go after them. It's hilarious.
Yeah. All right.
So what we're doing is we're putting rat poisoning out. We're pouring gasoline on the anthill and lighting the match. I did that when I first moved to Texas. I almost burnt down my garage. I poured gasoline on the stupid ant.
Right.
Yeah, and I lit a match and threw it on, and that thing ran across the ground and got into my garage. I thought, man, that wasn't bright. I said, woohoo! And so that's what we're doing now, see? We're lighting the match and we're chasing them down because we got the paper that we've never had before. We got the tools. I hope that makes sense.
All right, so my next step is to see if I can get a certified copy of this. This is the first time we've talked about doing this, Kerry.
I know that is.
I got the certified court order, but I don't have the certified 4 pages.
Right. But see, now I'm not saying you have to have it, but it makes sense to me. And see, I didn't know we needed it, or I would have told you. But see,
right.
I've been confronted now in the last 2 or 3 days by a whole bunch of IRS agents telling me that I don't know where you're coming up with this crap, but you lost, we won. And they say it exactly the same way. And then he quoted to me that last 2 lines. Petitioner asked for a motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction.
Right.
Petitioner. And that's what he's quoting me. And I'm looking at him thinking, well, there's the answer. What he's quoting me is part of that. But with both of those documents together, highlight it. Get a highlighter. And in your letters, and in your cover letter, say, I want my Social Security to be the lien removed immediately. See highlighted document enclosed for your convenience. See, we're gonna constantly bring it. We're on offense here. We're not on defense. That's why it sounds funny.
I understand. And you know what? I've been saving this as kind of an ace in the hole because line 4 of this ruling that we got, it's not the court order, but it was the 4-page letter from the...
Right.
And it says, line 4, it says, an IRS representative has made a diligent search of respondents' records. No notice of deficiency authorized under IRC 6212 has been issued to petitioner concerning petitioner's taxable years, and we had 97 to 2017. So that right there tells me that they never issued a notice of deficiency to us. They admitted it.
Right. And see, now when you do your cover letter, I would quote that, and I would highlight it, and I would say in my letter, see highlighted document enclosed for your convenience. I'd highlight it and see, make it in pink, that way or whatever. See, what you're doing is now, what we're doing is we're taking it to them. We're on offense. That's why it sounds funny. See, we've always been on defense. But now that we're doing this, the document is as strong as garlic. The problem is the IRS is being taught. We won. Read this. And they read the last 2 lines. And it does say, it says exactly what he says it says. It says exactly that. The problem is now we have another document and a document. And highlight that 4 and then go to the court order and highlight that too. See, now we have you have an argument that we can take it to them. Now, if you have to go to United States District Court, the IRS will not show up because they're going to be confident. You don't have jurisdiction. We ain't asking about jurisdiction. We're asking that they're in contempt of court because they admitted. Here's what they admitted. The commissioner admitted it, and their own attorney admitted it. And this chump works for them. He's the boss. And the boss said, see, that's the attitude you have. Now we're on offense. See?
So are you calling or emailing or requesting by mail for that certified 4 pages? How are you going about that?
Okay, I picked up the phone today and I asked them. I said, I want my certified copy of the order. Well, you already got it. I said, no, I got the court order. I want the attorney's order. They wrote. Okay, and that's the order that generated the court order. I don't want the court order. Okay, and they said, oh, okay. Well, it's going to be a week to 10 days so we can even get to it. I said, that's fine.
Okay,
but
I'll call him.
I'm not telling you you need to do that. I don't know. Right. I'm going to get one because I want this stopped. But see, I got an ulterior motive.
Right.
It came perfectly clear to me. You can get every dollar they took from you with that. If you just think about it. If you just think about it.
Right.
Well, we're calling them on their own rules is what we're doing.
There you go. See? There you go. Yep. That's right. See?
And Carrie, are they knocking on your door, calling you, or how are they coming about confronting you in the last few days?
I called them.
Oh, okay.
I called them on the phone and said, hey, doofus, what's going on? I said, I got a client here, and he said, you said this. He said, yeah. Did you read it? Then he quoted it to me. I said, hey, butt wipe. That's toilet paper, you boy. I said, did you read the front of it? He said, I only read the part that's pertinent.
Oh.
See?
Yeah.
I told you this once before. Okay, if you go to Washington State, get pulled over by the state trooper, he's going to say, driver's license and registration. If you get pulled over by the cop in Austin, he's going to say, driver's license and registration. If you get pulled over in Florida, he's going to say driver's license and registration. How come? That don't make sense. Why don't they ever say registration and driver's license? They never do. They're trained that way. These guys, and I've talked to about 4 or 5 of them in the last 3 or 4 days. Every one of them says the same thing. We won, you lost. You don't have jurisdiction to be in that court. And I said, well, how do you figure? He said, here, let's read it. So he quoted it to me, and I had it sitting there. What he read was the last 2 lines. And read those last 2 lines one more time, if you don't mind.
So, let me get back to
that's basically what the lady told us over the phone. She said you had no jurisdiction even bringing it on.
See?
That's what she tried to tell us over the phone.
Okay, so upon the consideration, it is ordered that the respondent's motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction is granted, in this case dismissed for lack of jurisdiction.
See? So they asked for it, they got it, they won. That's what they quoted. So I'm saying
that's what they think.
There you go. See?
Right.
Now let's go. And so what's happening is, I realized then as soon as he told me that, the light bulb came on. But again, that's just the way I am. Oh, why don't we get the 5 pages, put it with that, highlight the thing, because my dad used to say to me, he said, you're as dumb as a pissant. I have never figured out what a pissant is, but I figured it out now. The IRS agent's a pissant because you must really be stupid to be able to say that with a straight face. But that's what's happening, see? We're killing them. We're absolutely killing them. So they've got to say something. It's kind of like this. Those of you that are married, if your wife says to you, have you been cheating on me? Yeah, baby, I have, but I don't really mean it. You're going to lie like a rug. You're going to do, not me. Me? Not me. That's what you're going to do. And that's what they're doing now. They're lying because they have nowhere to go.
Yeah, right.
See?
Okay. And then back to my 2358C question. I'm looking at a letter that I wrote to them, and I really.
It's all about you, ain't it?
No. Hush.
He knows who you're talking to.
Yeah. And honestly, I do not remember. I thought I had put something in a letter, but I really didn't understand what the 2358C is. But what I said in there was, we're requesting your letter 2358C to be sent to us ASAP in regards to this matter. And then in quotes, I put, there is no indication on your letterhead whether you represent the U.S. or some other country or state or county or city, or whether it's a private organization. If you are part of the United States government, then please provide evidence that such is the case. And for any future letters to me, please use a letterhead that says U.S. Department of the Treasury Internal Revenue Service.
Right. Now, here's my question. Give me just the first couple of letters of your email. I don't need the whole thing because I have it in here.
Give you what?
A couple of letters of your email. I'm going to send you the 2358C and let you read it on the air.
Oh, it's
my name.
It's RONG.
But that's good enough. That's all I need. RON.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I knew I had it. Okay, now I just sent it. When you get it, open it up, and I want you to read it on the air.
Okay.
And then you'll understand maybe now that we're getting down the road a ways, you're going to start understanding it. Now, does anybody else have a question?
Yes, I have a question. This is Bruce from Michigan.
Oh my! Let me ask you a question, Bruce.
Yeah.
Why do you live in Michigan?
Well, I love the cold.
Okay, well, Alaska, then you must really be a. I was born there, and I left because they're really difficult. I'm having some issues in Michigan with people that I know up there, and they're just having a bear of a time. Michigan's they're almost as bad as California. Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah. My question is then on my docket at the court records, I have that 5-page document, and on the 20th, they're going to rule to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction. And will I then get a court order that states that then? I will.
Yes. Then you'll call back and ask for a certified copy. But that 4 pages, you can get that one right now and build it together. I didn't think we needed it because we had when I first started this in 2008, all I did is presented them with the court order. And, buddy, they bent over. They couldn't believe it. They got on their knees and said, sorry, sir. And they treated you like a human being. Now,
really?
So bad, what they're doing, they're saying, the court order doesn't mean nothing to us. And,
sure.
And yet I've got a document that the IRS wrote that says the court orders are final and binding. They said, well, they don't mean us. See? So what they're done is they're trained. This stuff it's now starting to affect them. And so with that other 5 pages or 4, mine was 5 pages. Some people's are 6.
5 pages. Yeah.
Okay, and some of them are 4. That guy just said his was 4. So what you're going to do is get and highlight those areas and put in your letter. Remove the lien, remove the levy, remove the liens and levies because the IRS doesn't have jurisdiction. See highlighted copy and the court order, and then put it together and send it to them. Now, if they don't, then just
send it to the IRS.
Yeah, send it to the IRS. Send it to your employer. Send it to the Social Security Administrator. Mm-hmm. In other words, anybody and then what I'm doing is, since I've got that 5-page document, I'm saying release all liens and levies and return all monies and assets taken between years 2000 and 2017. I'm just asking them for it. See? Yeah. Are they going to give it to you? I don't know. But let me ask you this. If you don't ask them, are they going to give it to you?
Nope.
See? Now we've got it again. Now, once you do that, you can then go back to the tax court saying, hey, I got this document. This is what I have. I'm being damaged for $17 million. I want a judgment against the IRS in the United States of America because they don't have jurisdiction. They admitted it. Here's what they said. I want the judgment. Then you got your judgment. Now, what are you going to do with the judgment? But see, but that's okay. That's okay. If you get one, let me know, and I'll tell you what to do with it, because I figured that out the other day. I was driving down the road, and it came to me what to do with the judgment.
Yeah. Well, it's all been very interesting, and it fits nicely into the past 6 or 7 years of research I've been doing too. But it's been very helpful. I know the state's really bugging me too about this, and I'll be sending them a copies of this too.
Okay, but let me tell you what you should do. Again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving you legal advice. I would write the state a letter, and I would set them up. I would ask them, I'm confused. I don't know how do I do my income taxes? Tell me. They're going to tell you. You're going to have to ask them 3 or 4 times, but then they're going to say, take your 1040, line 46 of your tax return, and that goes on line 1 of the Michigan 1040. Thank you. See, now you've asked them. You have somebody. Because, see, when you try to sue the Michigan Treasury or the Michigan Revenue, I'm going to tell you right now, you can't even get inside their door.
Yeah.
So, see, you're going to ask them. Once they tell you, then you say, well, you said for me to put line 46 on my Michigan number 1. But here, let me show you what I got. They don't have jurisdiction to tell me to do 46. What do I do? He's going to come back. What can he say? Well, we were kidding. No problem. Now you can sue him in court for perjury. See?
Perjury, yeah.
Now, it's never about taxes anymore. And see, we're very aggressive. We're getting very aggressive with them, and they are not liking it. When you have an IRS agent held to the ground and you're punching him, he does not like it. And so, and I don't mean that we're physically hitting them, because we're not.
Right.
But what we're doing is we're no longer cowering down. See, we have the kick and chew on our foot, and when we're kicking. See, what we're doing is we're taking the fight to them now. We're on offense.
Yeah. I mean, that is cool. That's way cool.
See, now, did you get the 2358C? I want you to listen to this. If you could get one of these, did you get it?
Yeah. I actually had this. You sent this to me once before.
I know. Yeah, I know, but your wife, it's always about her. So she. No. Yeah. Would you read it?
I sure will. This goes back to 2015, and it says, "Dear Carrie," actually, no, it says, "Dear taxpayer, thank you for responding to our inquiry about the above tax return," and this is for tax period 2010. Based on your information, we agree that you aren't legally required to file a tax return for the above tax period or periods. We are taking no further action at this time.
That's good. But the rest of it's just gobbledygook about whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So what it says is, dear taxpayer, you are not legally required to file a tax return. That's what I tell people. Are you a taxpayer? No. Well, then how are you going to get one? They can't talk to you. See?
Yeah. That's crazy.
So once you get that, especially in those states that have a state income tax, do what the feds tell you. Then send them your 2358C letter with your name on it. It says you're not legally required to file. What is the state going to say? Well, you have to with us. Well, you said I did. You said do what they said. Here's what they said. Now you have an argument that you can win. That's an argument that I would like to go into court with. My state said I had to file, but the feds do. The feds said I didn't have to file. Now I'm back here, and they're saying, well, we didn't mean it that way. So give the Michigan revenue officer, give him 25 to life, 35 to life for perjuring himself. He wrote on a piece of paper that I had to do what the feds say. The feds say I'm not one legally required to file. So I'm confused. Someone's going to jail today. Okay? And I wouldn't feel bad putting a couple of revenue agents in prison. I wouldn't feel bad at all. In fact, I'd even go and visit them.
Yep.
Right.
I agree. Thank you.
Does that make sense more now?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Kerry, how do you get the 5-page letter?
Okay, you're going to get that from the IRS they're going to tell you they can't find your paperwork. It's going to come from the Internal Revenue Service Chief Counsel. They're going to give it to the court. The court's then going to give it to you.
That's going to come in response to your request to the U.S. District Court?
Yes. No,
not the district court.
Your U.S. tax court. The form number 2, the petition. The petition is going to come because of that. That is going to come from that. That's why you don't sit there and say, I never received a notice of deficiency. I never received a notice of determination. I got lizards in my yard, and the armadillos are too big. Because, see, they don't care about that. That has nothing to do with their policy. They have to give them to you. The problem is they can't give them to you because they can't give you a notice of lien and a notice of levy. They can't do that. And the reason they're doing that because they're not doing the 23C. The 23C generates a lien or a levy. That they can use that. They can monetize that in a stupid system they've got. But what they're doing is they're giving you a notice of lien, a notice of determination, a notice of deficiency, a notice of lien, or a notice of levy. But a notice is not it's unmonetizable, so they're monetizing it. Bernie Madoff did the same thing. He gets 25 to life. So we're hitting them on a different angle. In fact, we sued the IRS. A friend of mine did, and got a ruling that the IRS cannot monetize a notice, and that's a counterfeit security.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little confused about, I sent in my petition, but I haven't gotten any 5-page response or communication about that.
You will.
How close to the date do I have to wait for that?
I don't know. I can't tell you that. Let me ask you this. Where are you from? What state?
Louisiana.
Okay. Christmas Day in Louisiana, how's the weather going to be?
I have no idea.
See, that's the same thing. It's the future. I can't tell you that. But it normally takes about 3 months-ish. Sometimes they'll put them on hold, and they're trying to do something else. We had a guy that I know, and what he did was he said, boy, I got nervous, so he told him that he was guilty and signed a plea deal for 5 years prison. He was guilty of all charges. And then what we did to him was we told the court that they did a substitute for return. And the IRS came back and said, well, we did an SFR so we could build a better case against him. He went down there. They were going to sentence him, and we handed him the document. And he said out of his mouth, he says to the judge, well, Your Honor, the CID agent did a substitute for return. Now he's trying to get me put in prison. He said, no, I didn't. The judge says, well, it says you did right here on this court document. He jumped the fence and said, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. The guy that I'm helping says, Your Honor, 35 to life would be a good number, don't you think? So now he's arguing. So they gave him an attorney, and his attorney was told he was supposed to do all of his paperwork for him. Well, he wouldn't file something for him, so we filed it. We got there, and he told the guy, says, Your Honor, the attorney so-and-so that you guys are paying, you shouldn't pay him because he's in contempt of court. He said, he's in contempt of court? Yeah, I tried to file something, and he wouldn't do it, so I had to do it. So the judge says, is that true? He said, he said, 25 to life sounds like a good round number, Your Honor. He jumped the thing. Now we're up there, and we're having this slugfest between the attorney and the CID agent because they don't want to go to jail because I'm just telling you, this paperwork is powerful. They've never seen it before. We're not on defense anymore. See, we're on offense. Now that we're on offense, you're getting a whole different attitude.
Yeah. I guess I'm just wondering, I haven't received that 5-page letter, and I'm wondering if there's something I can do to have that happen.
No, it's just something they do. They're getting behind. It used to come in about 3 to 4 weeks. Now it's probably 6 to 8 weeks. I have a friend of mine that lives in Louisiana, and he sent his in about December, and he still hasn't gotten his yet. He got that 5-page one, but he hasn't got the final yet.
Wow.
I haven't gotten either.
Yeah, but you will. You just got to give it time. You will. But when you get it, hang on to it. Do you know how to check? Do you know how to check when it's coming?
No.
Okay, go to the U.S. Tax Court docket inquiry. Click individual name, put your last name, first name, and the state. Hit search, and your docket number will pop up, and it'll tell you there's a chart there, and it tells you where they're at on it.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now.
Okay. What's on the blue white? What's the last entry there?
On this case, it says answer by respondent C/S 10/18/17.
Okay, they're behind. See, the respondent. You know who the respondent is?
Yeah, that's the IRS.
That's right. They were told that. Now you can call them, the 202 number on the website. Call them and say, hey, here's my docket number. Oh, is there a reason I haven't gotten my paperwork yet? And let them tell you. What they're going to say is, you lost. They're going to say, you lost, we won. That's what they're going to tell you. Then you'll see why I came up with this next idea.
Okay, what is the next idea?
The one I just told you. Take the 5-page and put it with it. Because when you call the lady that answers the phone and say, hey, here's my docket number. I want to know why this docket number is so long. In other words, why on date so-and-so it was supposed to be taken care of and it still hasn't been.
Okay, Carrie, we're going to have to get this about ready to go.
I've been ready for over an hour.
I have a question.
Then please ask it.
If there's a closed case with a judgment, and once you get the certified copy and put it in the case, would the judgment be reversed?
Okay. You're asking me a legal question. I'm not an attorney, but I'm going to tell you what makes sense to me. The answer is yes, because you have a certified docket number, a certified court order. But will they? You may have to twist their arm a little bit, but it can be done with it, I believe. But you understand, I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not giving you any advice whatsoever.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
This Jonas, on that last 2 dockets I got from the United States courts, it's types of cases. There's only one letter they sent back saying that the federal courts have jurisdiction. Has other people been getting them?
But they have jurisdiction on what?
Just cases that are raised by federal questions involving the United States government.
That's it. Yes, that's it. See? But when the CID comes after you, they're bringing you a IRS. Is that a federal question? That's really what I'm trying to get. Is that a federal question? I don't know if it's a federal question or not, because the IRS, the reason they're not. Let me leave you with this. The reason they're having so much trouble with this. Everybody, I want you, if you will, this week, go download a 1040 off of the internet, and then download the instruction booklet. I want you to read line 22. That says total income. That's your total income slot. Go to the booklet and read the definition of total income in the booklet, and that will answer your question.
Okay, folks, we're going to have to shut this one down.
Okay, I hope everybody learned something. Oh, you're more than
Carrie,
welcome.
good night.
Thank you,
Carrie.
You don't have to do that. I'm sleeping with Ed tonight.
See you in 2 weeks.
The usually part is $50 per sheet.
Have fun.
Thank you so much.
Our next call will be July the 10th.
July the 10th. Okay.
Okay. Y'all
Thank you.
have a good one, folks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.